What is up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. That's Lucha HSP for those that didn't know. Podcast.Lucha HSP on Instagram, and we are on YouTube and Spotify and a whole bunch of other things that the kids listen to that I'm too old to know, but Rob will tell us that after the show. I'm Mars, the voice of violence. As always, I'm joined here at ringside by my colleague, the formerly known as the Dreadlock Demon, Rowdy Rod. Rowdy Rod, it's been a couple of weeks, life got in the way of wrestling again,
That's
but
it,
man,
man.
we got a lot to talk about. And you know what? For the listeners, it's Friday night here in Australia, so I've ripped out one of the Steve Weisers and
That's
I'm
it.
having a
Cheese,
drink.
eh? Cheese, man.
It's actually a Peroni, so it's probably more like a Santino Weiser than a Steve Weiser,
Satino.
But anyway, enough about me. Tonight, on the first part, we're going to talk all things AEW. We're going to talk Grand Slam changes venue here in Australia. We're going to talk Ricky Starks shoots on AEW with Chris Van Vliet. We're talking about the fans finally turning on Mercedes Moné, or probably turning it up more on the turn on Mercedes Moné, because
Mm.
I think they've never really accepted her back. But we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the controversial ESPN top 30 wrestlers under 30, which was released a couple of weeks ago. As always, those lists are very subjective and a point of contention. And then we're going to talk about all things going on at WWE. Well, not all things, because there's way too much going on, as always.
Yep.
Massive goings on. Charlotte's possible return, Becky Lynch's possible return, Alexa's possible return. Something that really I'm really looking forward to talking about. The new day is finally ending, or what? And of course, the biggest news of them all: Survivor Series War Games predictions and goings on, and fantasy booking and speculating wildly. So, Rod, flick that switch, brother, and let's get this show on the road.
See, let's flick it up, man. We back after 2 weeks out. I think 2 or 3 weeks out. Like it's always happening. We always out for a bit, come back. But if you miss us, we'll listen to episodes. Listen, watch us on YouTube. Put a like. You can hear us. In a two-man show for now. A two-man show. As far as we go. Hey, but let's go straight away to things that are just not AEW. AEW keeps just dropping and dropping and dropping, and the money keeps you bloody what's it called, just pouring away,
Bleeding and bleeding.
bleeding. It's like a massive hole in the bottom bucket, endless buckets of the cans, which it sounds funny at the same time. AEW Grand Slam changes venues here in Brisbane, where I am at the moment. So it was meant to be a Suncorp Stadium, which had a capacity of 50,000 people. Great venue to be at, but tickets are looking really bad. VIP got sold out really well, which everyone was excited about it, but that was about it. And the change goes to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, which it's a great venue too. Been there a few times for a few like Comic Con and what's Supernova here in Australia. Awesome venue, but only holds 30, 13,000 people. It's a massive drop on the amount of people that you're gonna have between Sarcom Stadium and Brisbane Entertainment Centre. Is this what we've been predicting and talking about for a long time, which is the poor booking from AEW, no storylines, and basically having the issue that WWE was having probably, let's say, about 10, 12 years ago when Vince was around?
Yeah, look, it's a massive difference, obviously, from a stadium show to an arena show, and not just in ticket sales. Look, I must admit, I was shocked when AEW announced the stadium show here in Australia and in Brisbane. I mean, you put this show, to argue with that, if you put this show in Sydney or Melbourne,
Yeah.
you're gonna sell between 30 and 40,000 tickets, I think. But here's the main thing with AEW. AEW is a wrestling fans promotion. Okay, like let me rephrase that. It's a smart wrestling fans promotion. Like it involves like a lot of wrestlers that people just simply haven't heard of. And we've said this before. Like if you're a WWE fan, you could be the most rabid, like hardcore WWE fan, like spend thousands on merchandise, go to heaps of shows, but you have no idea who Kyle Fletcher is. You have no, with all due respect, I'm just picking names. I'm not
Yeah,
picking
it's
on
all
anyone
good.
specific. You don't know who the Rainmaker is. And these are guys that have like you don't know who Will Ospreay is. You might know who MJF is because he's out there.
Yeah.
but it's
It's
not
been
enough to
movies.
sell a stadium. And here in Australia, like it's a small wrestling community. Like WWE went to Perth and sold 50,000 tickets, but that's WWE with the marketing
Exactly.
machine behind it. But what's happened here in Australia is just a carry on from what's happening in terms of ticket sales with AEW in the US. I mean, we've all seen the videos and the photos of the empty seats in AEW,
Yeah.
Collision and Rampage and all those shows that are live. Um, but then again, I mean, in this day and age, does the gate really matter as much as it used to? I mean, you hear Cody Rhodes talking about in interviews about the gate, and thank you for the gate, and the quick answer to that is yes, it still does, because if you're one of the top guys, your contract is structured to get a percentage or a bonus based on the gate, based on the amount of people that come to that live show. I'll, I'll take the highest example of all, WrestleMania. The tickets this for WrestleMania next year are
Oh
ridiculous,
my God.
ridiculous, ridiculous, and they'll still make a lot of money. They'll still feel that,
It's
that
still sold out. It will
they
sold
will
out.
sell that they will sell Allegiant Stadium out. It's a 60,000 capacity. They'll sell it out easy. Um, so AEW's problem with ticket selling is a big problem, and it is, in my view, it is due to the poor storytelling. Um, not the wrestling match, because the wrestling matches are great, but Bubba Ray did an excellent comparison on Busted Open the other day. He spoke about Roman Reigns and CM Punk facing each other in a ring, not saying a single word, nothing, and that crowd was going off. And that's a bigger draw, them two just looking at each other, than any 5-star match on AEW, than a pile driver on steel steps that we saw at Full Gear on AEW. Not
Yeah.
questioning the wrestling ability. I'm questioning the booking like we have all the time, the long term booking, the long term storytelling. And you know what? Whilst AEW might be bleeding money, the reality is that it's owned by a blood bank, which is the Khans. So
Yeah.
they've got money to bleed. It just depends how long Tony wants to bleed it. But can it be fixed? Yeah, it can be fixed. But don't book stadium shows. And look, I wouldn't be. I hope it doesn't get cancelled, but I would not be surprised if it gets cancelled. Rumor is they sold 10,500 tickets, so that's pretty good for an arena show. In a stadium, that would have looked horrendous. That would
Oh,
have looked
really
empty.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Look, like it's like again we said like we not complaining about the wrestling quality because there's plenty of quality in AEW. There's some of the greatest wrestlers in our generation right now wrestling there. And it is not that in all generations. We're talking about Adam Copeland, we're talking about what's called Chris Jericho,
Hmm.
the Rainmaker, one of like if
Christian Cage.
Christian Cage, the Rainmaker, he's an icon of Japan,
Yeah.
wrestling. You got great wrestlers in new
Hmm.
generations, MJF, Britt Baker,
Takeshita.
you got Takeshita, you
Mm.
got Will Ospreay, you got
And not
what's
to mention
called
the luchadors,
the Lucha Bros. Don't let me talk about them,
like
man.
your boy, like Penta,
I just want to cry, man, every single time I just mention the names, man, because we want to talk about it a little bit more in a bit about that. But yeah, like it just like it just made the about right did a beautiful like CM Punk and Roman Reigns just not saying anything, but saying everything, and just people going nuts. But that's plain sitting from months and months ago, you know,
months, months
months.
that we
I'm
didn't
talking
even know about. Even that was right in our face. We didn't even know about it until
exactly.
people start analyzing the situation. Now it's like, oh shit,
And
hang
just
on a
little
minute.
things, just little
Yeah.
things that you realize at the moment. Oh, but yeah, that's right. So
Mm.
just little things that you make you like go, fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's lacking in AW, and unfortunately, this is what is shine. One, why you bring it to Brisbane? That's a big ask. No WWE comes here. Like you gotta be sure. Like WWE took a massive gamble to going to Perth, and the
Mm.
gamble paid off. But it was normally Sydney or Melbourne. The worst case scenario, Melbourne.
Mm.
Melbourne was sold out. Sydney was sold out no matter what.
Melbourne's a
Because
massive wrestling city. Massive wrestling
100%. We
city.
said it many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
You got massive wrestlers coming out of there.
Mm.
Um, and just why would you come to Brisbane? What did make you come to Brisbane? What was the thought behind it? What was the selling point? How the Brisbane government actually sold it to AEW?
Mm.
It's like, hey, come here. We're gonna, this look. I'll be honest. This has not been advertising here in Brisbane. I I go to Brisbane constantly to the
Yeah.
city. I don't remember seeing any signage saying AW Grand Slam, to like just take
Mm.
a picture with it, or like, oh my god, AW is coming. Nothing. Which again, we said it many times, problems with AEW marketing
Yeah,
not doing
and
right.
look, and when WWE comes to your town, like they have events,
You know
they,
it's coming to
they
your
set up
town.
they set you exactly. Perth was filled with flags, WWE flags of
Everywhere.
their wrestlers. They set up a superstore smack bang in the middle of the city in Perth. Like they had the elimination chamber kickoff show. I was there. Like if you check our Insta, like I'm there, like front row center, like
Yeah.
where we had the press pass, and it was just like, mate, people in Perth knew that there was a wrestling show on.
But here
AEW
nothing.
doesn't do that.
Exactly. But and we're going back to marketing. So we don't know what's happening this here. And this could be also what Ricky Starr's been talking about, which we're gonna jumpstart with what Ricky Starr
Well,
just said.
jump into that. Let's jump into that because that's all connected, man. That's
It's all
all
connected.
connected.
Tony Stark, Ricky starts taking some shots to AEW, and the latest one got him off GCW matches, which cost him a
Yes.
little bit. But
Mm.
it's coming off the interview he did with Chris. Always
Chris
forget
Van
his
Vliet.
name, Chris Wembley, where he just let it all out. He's been frustrated. He's like, I've been at home. I've been fine. I got nothing. But it feels like everything comes on the back of him going to WrestleMania. That's what he says. He comes off the back of WrestleMania. That's one of the things. And also, one of the things he did say as well, which is affecting all this. He said he's Tony Khan is holding wrestlers hostage, pretty much not letting them off the contract, getting more like and we're saying this he's literally doing a Vince McMahon turn where Vince McMahon will get wrestlers, put him at home, do nothing. There's no plans for them. Just keep them paying. Which, look, many people will be like, why are they complaining about that? I'll be so happy being at home doing nothing, getting paid.
Nah, no, it's not
Mate,
how it works, man.
when you love wrestling, when you love what you're doing, that's not what you want to do, man. Ricky Stark is
Mm.
30 years old. He's been at home for a year, man. You know how detrimental that's for his career
Yeah,
as a wrestler. He wants to
absolutely.
make it big. He's the part where this is peak 30,
Mm.
30 and up, 30 to 40. Here we going with the wrestlers are massive, you know,
Mm.
20 to 25, 20 to
Yeah.
20 to 30. It's hard if you make it, and it's been a few, which we're gonna talk about the top 30, the top under 30, but not many do. Most of them go independent wrestling. Once they hit 30, that's when the big companies call you. That's when you actually, pay your dues. Got there. And Enrique Sturgis absolutely had enough. And the last thing he said, and that's why he got him out of GCW, and we don't know what's going to affect in AEW, is like he got into GCW without telling anyone. He just showed up and he says, one thing about me, passion runs through my blood, and I'll be damned if I sit at home and I get frozen. I'll be damned if I sit at home and lay my career down drill.
Mm.
My English is pretty good there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man?
Man, I listened to about nearly half of this Chris Van Vliet interview on the way home from work today in the car. Look, man, that was a shoot, man. That was not a work. He was speaking from the heart. Look, he did say that he didn't think he was being punished, or he didn't feel he was being punished for his appearances at Royal Rumble and then at WrestleMania. He explained those. He's a good friend of Cody Rhodes. Look, his explanation made sense, but I mean, if you put two and two together, I mean, what other
Well,
explanation can there
he
be?
did.
His last appearance was on TV in AEW was in March. WrestleMania was in April.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in the AEW ring since then. Why not? He's healthy. He's popular.
Oh,
Um,
people
he,
is asking for him.
yeah. So I mean, if he's not being punished, then what's the reason? And like what you just said, he said at a GCW show, he's now been pulled off 4 GCW shows, and AEW is the organization that says, hey, we let our wrestlers
Go
come and
anywhere.
wrestle with us because you can go do your indie shows and you can go earn extra money, and you know what, we won't get in the way.
That not
Well,
happening
it looks like
anymore.
they are, and what they did with what they were rumored to have done with the Lucha Brothers too, same thing.
Oh man, like the Lucha Brothers. That story keeps going. But look, thank God, Penta's out. Like Penta is his contract is finished in April next year, if I'm not wrong. And he has nothing outstanding. He's just been at home, not been used, so he's out. He already said it, he's out. I
Mm.
think one time we heard an interview say like, my time is in AEW now, but apparently the last few things is like I'm out. That's it, gone, which is awesome. We want him in WWE, man. We need him in WWE. and then it's just Phoenix. Unfortunately, that he's been injured,
Mm.
and Tony Khan is putting adding time to his contract, which he goes against everything he said about what he was going to do, what's independent wrestling is. So look, the should say Ricky Stark did, and just to clarify a little bit, yes, he did say that he doesn't feel like he's being punished by going to WrestleMania, but at the same time, he said I have suspicions, but I don't have a definite answer, which is frustrating. So
Yeah.
like, in an underline, he's probably thinking, yeah, this might be why. Even though there was other AW wrestlers there, but he's just more connected to with Cody Rhodes. And also after that, there was all the rumors of him going to WWE, which also was what happened with Garcia, which all the rumors were going Garcia, and look what happened. AEW was just panic mode, and
Yeah.
just made Garcia champion. They just
Yeah.
put him prime time, put him champion, and that just come off the back of him saying all the rumors of him was gonna go, and they were AEW scared he was gonna lose another wrestler to the machine after losing Jake Cargill, after losing a Big Ego, that he
Mm.
just went there and just made a big straight away. So it just you know things happen. But look, with Ricky Stars, we don't know what's gonna happen now with him. But if he's right what he's saying about wrestlers getting holding hostage, um, that is one thing that's just worrying because it just made me think why Ricochet took the chance to go there.
Well, Ricochet was. I haven't. Chris Van Vliet interviews Ricochet. I haven't seen that interview. I really want to see it. I'll try and get to it this week. But Ricochet wasn't being used right in WWE, and
Yeah, that we know that.
Ricochet style does not fit WWE.
Mm.
And that's again, I think that's another issue AEW has. Again, for pure fans of professional wrestling, AEW is fantastic. But there's a reason why that gymnastics, luchador style isn't focused on. And it wasn't even focused. Remember when WCW brought in the cruiserweights, they brought in the Mexican the
Yeah,
luchadors and that? It still wasn't that pure Mexican, like, high flying kind of stuff. There was some parts to it, but it wasn't this choreograph. I hate using the word choreographed, but you know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah,
it looks like a gymnastics routine.
yes,
Like that doesn't hit well for the usual like casual or even hardcore WWE fan. And AEW is focusing on that. As always, they're focusing on 5-star wrestling matches.
yes.
Professional wrestling is TV shows about a sport. It's not just the sport. It's the TV show about a sport. And like
But even then,
that's
before it even was like that's the thing. Even before it was televised, even before it was televised,
mm,
it was still storylines. There was still
mm-hmm,
something happening. Like it's just,
exactly.
it wasn't like you show up to at X. Like let's say I'm gonna say the here pretty friend PWA here.
Mm,
PWA you gotta pay for the shows to whatever. But if you go to PWA shows, or any like small show, let's say Integrity Wrestling, for example, we were just talking
mm-hmm,
about with Max, not long ago we had the interview. Even then there's stories behind it, there's something
of
happening, there's
course.
seeds getting planted,
Mm-hmm,
this shoots or the the things saying that in social media, they're building something even behind the lines which lead up to these massive matches. So even independent wrestlers know that. Fucking, we build up to a 5-star match, like something that people wants to
exactly.
come and watch. Why W is not doing that? We don't know. Empty arenas is just something horrible, um,
Mm,
and that also goes into fans turning into wrestlers. Some fans just had enough of some wrestlers and they just don't buy it anymore. And that's also leaving to people just leaving. And that's the latest happening with Mercedes Monet, which we haven't said for a
mm.
long time. Mercedes Monet is starting to be booed. And not the boo that we get, for example, um
Like Dirty
with
Dom.
Christian Cage, with Daddy Dom, those boo,
Mm,
like you're a
yeah,
horrible person. The
that's
boo
right.
of we don't want you. The beauty of like we don't want you as a champion. We don't
There
buy
was even
you
some
as.
shut the fuck up chants.
Oh man, I love those ones.
Mm,
And I think that's what the one that heard. Like she said it after like, oh, she played like a bit silly and she played, but you can tell the difference when a wrestler is like. It's just the best comparison is when Roddy Rosie was getting booed for the first time.
yes.
She didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
She didn't know what to do, what to say. She got shocked. She was like frightened. Like it's like she
Yeah,
didn't like. She know what to do. And Mercedes Moné has been a heel in WWE. She's been a heel. She know what to do. But she knew that this when the booze of boo, you're a heel. There was the booze of shut the fuck up. We don't want you.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. We don't buy you
It's
anymore.
it's like the booze of Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at
Oh
WrestleMania.
my god, yes,
Mm,
definitely those ones. The booze of Goldberg winning the title against
mm.
the Fiend. Like those kind of booze that you're
Exactly.
like, what are you doing? Why are you here?
Like,
We don't
yeah.
want you here.
We don't want this. We don't want this, and we're letting you
Exactly.
know.
And Monet has been having it for a while, but now just the fans have been just allowed crazy. They're rooting for Mercedes. For who's with Mercedes? Man, I forgot right now. Camila.
Yes.
They're rooting for her. As soon as Camila
Mm,
said like enough, people were like went nuts. And she's
hmm.
meant to be the heelish Albert, both of them. Like she's meant to be more heel than the heel because she's like the bodyguard, of the heel, and people is chanting for the bodyguard. Like yeah, it's part of the story happens. We've seen it with with MJF and what's called Wolo, which ended up
Hmm.
people going for Wolo, but it was a build up a story. This is just the moment people just anyone but her, you know,
Yeah.
anyone but Mercedes. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Man, look, I don't everything ever since she come back. Like we've been very vocal on this show about Mercedes Monet and like her not fitting in, her like not being. It just doesn't. It hasn't worked for me. It hasn't.
Mm.
And whether she's a victim of the bad booking or
Nah.
the victim of her own, like, I mean, they're paying her overs. If what we're hearing is true of what they're paying her overs. And she demanded that, and good on her, and she got it. Again, that is that bottomless pit of money
Mm.
in AEW. Um, I'm surprised it's taken this long for the fans to turn, but I'm just interested to see what they're going to do now because, like, she's not going to do a face turn because they won't like her. She's already a heel and they don't like her.
She needs to go away.
Um, she has to go away
But
and
this,
come
im-
back. But I don't even like the CEO character. I think I don't
no
like
one
it.
buys it. Like you just
No.
imagine like the CEO character with uh Kushida with Okada die. Like
Mm.
see how Okada was all I want to be with Mercedes Moné and just that storyline just got like stopped out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Um, I think she needs to go away. But that's the thing. She's not even doing independent matches, independent companies. Like she's just AW, nothing else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like people didn't buy her in Japan. That's why she didn't last in Japan. People just Japanese fans did not like her. I think she just thought too much. Since she walked out of WWE because she wasn't happy with the booking and she took Naomi with her, and unfortunately Naomi just, I think it's gonna happen that she regretted the fuck out of it, and like she's back now. Um, but
And she's
since
getting booked better than Monet.
oh, big time, like she was always a good part. I think she's since that happened, and she was angry with Vince, which fair enough. A lot of people was at the time, but people went out to do independent stuff. You know, I don't remember when they're doing independent stuff. She just went straight to New Japan, and then from New Japan to AEW, it's like she didn't build a character. She didn't build a CEO character at any point. She's built it up at AEW.
Mm.
So I don't know, man. Up just knowing Khan, he's gonna die with the sword and just keep going with this because he already spent the money on it, and he won't back up from it because it's a lot of money. Unless he can get someone else who can pay more and just shut her up and just move it away and just hemorrhage the money somewhere else. Um, but yeah,
You know who
Josh,
I get? This idea just came into my head.
yeah.
I'd get Eric Bischoff in.
The problem is Eric Bitch is going to WWE.
Oh, he's signed. I know. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying,
That's the
look, what
biggest
I just
problem.
maybe it's because I think like a few days ago I finally watched Who Killed WCW.
Oh
But what
yeah,
he did,
that's a good one.
that's a great series. Watch it, it's like 4 episodes. If you haven't watched
Yeah,
it, it's sensational.
really good.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, I think he's still signed with WWE anyway.
Anyone, anyone that knows booking, anyone that knows
Put him
story,
in
any
Bubba Ray
writer,
if he wants to, but he's signed with WWE as always on a Legends contract. I think
that's it.
they've got them all.
They got them all and they're using them. They used him
Mm.
properly. Baba Ray, man, how good was the storyline when he NXT and they went to
Yeah.
the old ECW arena? Man, it was awesome.
Mm.
You know,
But they've
like
got some
just
minds there. They've got, and we've said this before, they've got some wrestling minds there. They've got Chris Jericho. They've got Adam
I
Copeland.
know what
They've got
Chris Jericho
Christian
said. Chris
Cage.
Jericho is not Chris Jericho anymore for me. I
I
know
don't
from
get
what I
that
checked.
whole learning tree. I don't understand what the fuck's
Then
going on there.
look, I don't know. And we haven't talked about this, but
Mm.
for me, Chris Jericho lost it, and because Chris Jericho jumped with AEW, this is my belief. Chris Jericho jumped into an AEW, and we see what this is going. Is like he's too afraid to jump out of it. He's
Mm.
like, I'm already here. Like, what else am
And
I gonna have?
he's not be on big money too, man. He's a big name in that organization.
Yeah, he was one of the first ones to sign.
Mm. Mm.
So I'm like, people is just like, you know what? I'm already here. Just keep going. Yeah, and if we
The
sink in,
lighter
just
schedule. Yeah.
keep
He does his
going.
podcast. He
I
does
got
his
the
cruises. He plays with Fozzy. So,
he can do all the shit, and just don't worry about it. Just I think he's turning a blind eye on all that stuff.
Mm.
Danielson, the same thing. I don't know what's happening to Danielson. We know Copeland is the injury.
Moxley. Like, what's going on with Mox?
That storyline is so fucking like that's the one thing is fucking saving everything is the storyline with
Mm.
Moxley. They're building an awesome storyline. They've been going pretty good. Like just that's one
Well,
thing
let's
is probably
see if they
saving.
can maintain that.
But they've been maintaining it for months now, which is
Mm.
good, which is not bad. And that's great. But because you know what is great, because we don't know, it's still we don't know what's the end game. We still don't know,
Mm.
and that's awesome. But there's not much of it. Like it's a part of that. How many stories about that? The storyline with the current women's champion. It's kind of going one way. We knew the backstabbing was coming, it happened, and now like what the fuck? So it's like little things happening, but it's not enough to pick people in. And that's what
Yeah.
we said many times. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens with AEW at the moment. Shit happening with wrestlers, shit happening with venues outside United States. So how far AEW will be able to keep running like this, we don't know. And let's jump to the top under 30 wrestling list done by ESPN. Um, you want to run to the names first and then give your opinion?
Yeah. Look, I'll just go through the top. Let's just go through the top, say 10. All
Yep.
right. And then we can talk about what. So, number one is Dirty Dom Mysterio.
Yeah.
Number two, uh, MJF.
Yep.
Number three, Tony Storm. Number four, Rhea Ripley. Number five, Mariah May. Number six, Takeshita. Number seven, Jack Perry. Number eight, Kyle Fletcher. Number nine, Daniel Garcia. And number 10,
Shota
Shota Umino.
Human.
Uh, yeah. So, and look, obviously these are subjective. These, like, you could have a million arguments for and against. Okay, but here's my who do I think should be number one? I think it should be Rhea Ripley. Because in terms of impact, in terms of generating money, in terms of merch, um, in terms of popularity, in terms of like everything, Rhea Ripley to me should stand at top of that list. I don't know how Dirty Dom is up there.
I
Now,
know
what do they
why.
mean by that? What do they mean by pro wrestlers? Does that mean wrestling ability? Because Rhea's got that. Dom's still working on that. He's not bad, but he's still working on that.
Yeah.
How is Tony? I've met Tony Strong. She's a lovely lady.
How's he
But how
above
is she
Rhea
above?
Ripley? I get that. I don't understand
How's
that.
she above Rhea Ripley?
Yeah,
How?
that's not.
Um, Braun Breaker's at number 11. Tiffany Stratton is at number 18. How the hell is Tiffany Stratton at number 18? Let's keep going down. There's a name here who should not even be on this list. And I'm talking about number 22, Logan Paul. What's he doing anywhere near this list? He's had like 6 wrestling matches. That's an
Yeah.
insult.
Yes, it
That's
is.
a fucking insult. He should not be.
That's true.
He's got good ability. He's got potential, but he's certainly not top 30, under 30 at this
Yeah.
stage of his career. Dragon Lee is at number 29. Dragon Lee. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
Well,
Wheeler Yuta's down at 21.
but look at Hijo el Vikingo.
Iko Vikingo at 13.
13. We're talking about Hijo el Vikingo, one of the longest Triple H
Are you,
champion.
and you're putting Mariah May at 5 while Tiffany Stratton is at 18? It's arguable that Mariah May's a ripoff of Tiffany Stratton.
Not just that, she hasn't been champion for that long to be able to hold. Look. I'll be honest. Look, Dirty Dom. I do understand why it's number one,
I
and
get it.
I had. As soon as I saw Dirty Dom, I was like, "What the fuck is number one?" But let's be honest. He's been in a storyline for the longest. He's been able to hold up this heelish. He went from heel to super
Yeah.
heel. I don't know how you do
Super
that.
Hill. All right.
How the fuck you go from heel to super heel? Like that's an art on its own. Like you should analyze how the fuck you go from heel to super heel. Like just
Mm.
crazy.
Oh, no, I'm not. Look, I'm not like
And we're not
I'm
titles.
saying. I'm saying
And
he's
we're not
top five.
titles.
I'm saying
Like
he's top five.
I,
He's
I
top
don't
five.
I don't mind him as a number one because I understand the
Mm.
story and behind all this. Rhea has been injured. Fair enough. Unfortunately, Rhea has been deal with a lot of injuries this year.
But what's the
But
criteria? What criteria
yeah,
did they use? They haven't.
well, that's all we know. We don't know the criteria under this. Like the next, it just what did you see? We don't know. What is the
Like
criteria?
Theory, Austin Theory at 15.
That's
He's
what I'm
the
saying. Yeah,
future of the organization.
but
Former
then,
US champion, former tag team champion,
yeah, like, I understand. Look, I get
former
your
Money
point,
in the Bank winner.
but it's like always with the list. What's the criteria for this list? We're never gonna know. And so even when we know the criteria for the list, even then they got it wrong. And it's
Mm.
been many times. But look, I get Dominic Mysterio number one. I wouldn't fight it, you know, because to be able to do what he's been doing for this long without a title, like an actual title, it's
Mm.
it's memorable. Like he's done a great job without a title. NJF just came back. I don't know why you put MJF so high. He just came back no longer. Tony Storm, she's been out for a long time. Like she's been champion and she's done some stuff in Japan, going now and then, but not big things. Rhea Ripley, the injuries have been not going in her favor this year. Mariah May, she hasn't been champion for that long to be able to be that high. Um, Takesha, Takesha's been unfortunately bad booking, and if he because
Ah,
and because
horrible.
because he complained about it, he wouldn't be put as a champion right now. So
Mm-hmm.
he should be even higher than this. He should be top five for me. If you look at it down, if we go Jack Perry, yeah, Jack Perry, I wouldn't mind having. He's done a great job. He's done a good job. He hang on to the Crimea River and scapegoat. He's done a great job with that. Cal Flesh has done a great job as well. It's 25. Number 8, arguably, it could be arguably Daniel Garcia. He just became a champion. Like literally a week ago, and before that, he wasn't even being used. Shotomino, yeah, he's done great jobs in New Japan. The top 10. Look, it's always New Japan is gonna be in the top 10 because always good. Braun Breaker, yeah, that's a cringe. Like that, Braun Breaker should be way higher. Kicking some numbers down, he cannot be below Kyle Fletcher or Jack Perry. That's just absolutely stupid. Like you said, if you got Hijo de Vikingo, man, fuck me, same injuries. He had a
Mm.
massive injury, so I understand why I dropped some. Chris Tennant came back from injury, same thing. Austin Theory, yeah, he's done a lot, but he's been quiet. Understandable. Jordan Grace, bro, that is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace should be top five, definitely top five. Like, goddamn, have you seen Jordan Grace lately? How the fuck you put it down number 16? You know, Hook, man, same thing. Why Hook number 17? You see how he's done? What he's done
Mm.
with
Mm-hmm.
a stupid title like FTW? Oh, sorry, my bad. FTW is not a stupid title, but with a title that doesn't have a country. It's a made up title. They just made it big, and what Hook has been doing to the storylines he's been able to tell, dude. That guy should be way higher. Same Tiffany, you said Tiffany Stratton, what she's been doing, way higher. Roxana Perez, same thing. She's been holding the title for how long? How many good stories? Why is number 20? Willa Yuta, bro. Come on, Willa Yuta 21. All the hard work is done, bro, and what he's
Mm.
been doing, the storyline the
Yeah.
storyline he's telling right now is unique. It just Logan Paul, bro, he shouldn't even be in the list at all. Gabe Kidd, we talk about Gabe Kidd. He's going against what's called Kenny Omega now, doing great
Mm.
things. Japan number 24, yeah, probably top 20 could be. Utami, same thing. Judah Hart. Unfortunately, Judah Hart just got injured, so that kills a little bit. Jamie Hayter, same thing. Dragon Lee, fuck, bro. Dragon Lee 29. That just makes absolutely no sense. But again, we never know the what you based on this. We should make our own list, bro. Fuck me. We could become
Man,
a
let's
with
do
a.
it. Next week's
You know
episode,
what?
we'll do it.
The
Yeah.
Lucha HSP gonna come with their own list, and we're gonna have a
Yeah.
criteria
Hmm.
based on it. We're gonna see what the criteria is. Put it out there so people think about it. Because
Yeah.
this is just, and it's been so many lists that just been like, what do
But
you
here's the
think?
thing too, like you ask 10 different people what their top 30 under 30 wrestlers are, and you'll get 10 different answers,
Which is fine, but like,
which is fine. Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure out of the top 10, you will have some arguments on why so many are so low. Like, just I think just too much. There's too many names here that shouldn't be even the top 30. I
Mm.
think you're missing people in here that shouldn't be here. You know, like for example, um, uh, Baka. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Stephanie Vaquer? Where Stephanie
Mm.
Vaquer? And I'm just gonna put the number here because I want to make sure I got the right age. Oh, she's 31. She just turned
Ah, I
31,
just missed
literally.
it. Yeah.
She just turned 31. Fair enough. She's just 31. Yeah, Julia, I think Julia is about the same. Julia, I think Julia is about the same. See, if I don't get it wrong, but if I get 31, just fair enough. She just missed. So not gonna argue too much about that. But yeah, under 30s, it's a cringe and a lot of names
Mm.
in there. But we'll come up with our list and see how we compare what people think about it. All right, and then for that, this pretty much first block, we're gonna go to the next part, which all WWE, which is absolutely nuts at the moment.